Bell Kings Fantasy Football League. It's your man Tony D. I got my man Fireman Rich in the building. Rich, how you doing, man?
Good morning, Tony. We're doing good, sir. Thank you.
Good.
And
We
I
are
appreciate
expecting
you
one
bringing
more
me up
person.
this morning.
Gotcha. We are expecting one more person to join us. I'm figuring he just woke
Well,
up.
you know how it goes. You get started here, and then I think they like the entrance.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with some of these cats sometimes. Let me change
I'm getting the notifications just to let you know they're
good.
paying.
Let me see if I can do it. Like, yeah, that's a little bit better. Good.
Yeah, there we go.
Season 2, week 4. Any reviews from last week that you want to throw out there? Go for it.
Well, the big game that everybody was talking about, of course, and is Miami beating up on the Broncos and stuff, and and there's talk, I guess, and I'm hearing the talk. Does this make Miami a really great team, or did they just take advantage of the demise of a team that's really trying to come out of the basement? That maybe not, but maybe today we'll see. But I know my kid brother. He was a diehard. He was probably loving it,
right?
And the story was they could have probably put up 100 points and stuff like that. But NFL history in the making there, in a sense.
I mean, Miami beat them pretty bad.
God, yeah, that
was.
Well, when a couple weeks ago when the San Francisco 49ers just beat up on the Giants, I thought that was the worst game I'm going to see for the season. I'm just sort of.
Yeah, I mean, they're calling for Sean Payton to go ahead and quit, which is.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Okay.
Yeah, they calling for his job. And
really?
The thing with Russell Wilson, they're trying to talk about what's going on in his head. I'm not after the man like that. I just want them to play, and if they're not feeling it, I get it. But it just was not a good turnout.
But if you look at Russell Wilson's stats,
yes,
he's right in. He's not sloughing at all. He's not the great Russell Wilson of old when he was with Seattle, but
yeah, he's got some years on him.
He's got some good numbers there. It's just that the rest of the team it's a whole team effort thing. So the coach, well, I don't know. Has Peyton been there long enough to really make a difference? That's the thing you got to look at.
And apparently his coaching style isn't the best in a lot of people's eyes. I have heard that.
Yeah.
So the way he coaches is an issue, and I almost want to challenge that. But he has been in the game for almost 20 years now.
Yeah, true.
What are we going to say? I'm waiting on Bathurst to pop up. Anything you want to throw out there football-wise, I say go for it.
No, it was good football last week. We're into the swing of it. Week 4 today, so we're going to be. We've seen some good football, and it's fantastic to be able to have this type of platform to talk about it and stuff. And I think it's a good thing. We're getting other people coming in. Like last week was a great show. I think with today's show will be just as good, if not better, depending on who comes in and stuff. And we got a good mix as far as that goes. And again, I look forward to this. So again, I really appreciate it as far as coming up here, and it's sort of like my pregame thing, because I used to watch the shows on the ESPN and the sports channels and stuff like that, but I don't do that as much. I like getting into the nut and bolt, but I like doing this. This is like my pre-game type thing to do here, And it's fun. It's fun.
And I always try to wait till the last minute, mainly because a lot of injury reports, a lot of changes.
Especially with
all of that. Yes.
Yeah, especially the fantasy football, when you're dealing with the fantasy football aspect of it, stuff like that. Because I think the last couple of weeks, was it last week, the week before, you had to make a last minute change or something like that too. I remember you saying.
Every now and then with the games, and actually, I'm trying to look through everything now. I know the football game is on for a lot of people. I don't have.
Oh, you know what? We had a game this morning. I forgot. There's
one going on right now.
There's one going on right now. Oh man, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's true.
Atlanta and Jaguars going at it.
Wow. Okay. Let's see if we get an update on that.
Looks like it's 17-0 Jaguars. Which
Jaguar. Yeah, Okay. Yeah, they're normal. I think they're their favorite over there in the UK.
Because they're trying to move that team to London.
What's that?
They're trying to move the Jaguars over there.
No.
Yeah, they've been working on that for years. Walking around and talking about, oh yeah,
That's a lot of money for a team to travel over there, though.
it is a lot. And international travel, I think, is one of the issues that came up on the conversations as far as putting the team over there, how they're going to do the schedules.
Okay,
they'll go to Mexico, they'll go to London.
Okay.
They haven't gone to Canada yet, which has tripped me out because Canada, I think, welcomes our sports. So I don't know why we haven't put a team up there.
Well, it might have maybe something to do with the Canadian Football League. Could be.
Fair point.
They might have a disagreement having somebody like that coming in another. Well, then again, we have the USFL and that but the thing is, you got the NFL. That's that's it's a little bit more prominent than the CFFL. So it's just. But I don't know. As far as the UK be worldwide, not that they don't have the money; they have the freaking money, to do
well, they
that.
got the audience too. Everybody,
a
lot of people internationally travel through that area. So even with like Las Vegas is a major tourist spot, London is a major spot on the globe. That's how you bring the audience and gain the fanfare and all of that.
Well, and then again, the logistics involved in that. So the visits, I think, will continue. They're doing more of them this year. They're going over into Germany for the first time. And there's 2 minutes and 54. It looks like that's the Jags win there.
Gotcha.
As far as
that one more share I gotta do, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started.
So
you know what? Throw the stats up there from what we got for last week, if you don't mind.
Oh, last week? Okay, go ahead. There they are.
And all that,
that's week 3 as far as the standings. As far as so we got. You gave me the updates for Brian. So Brian's in. He's still missing week 2. But this is for last week. You can see that Tony, he killed everybody. Well, he tied CBS. Yeah, CBS had a good week last week. It's just the week before they weren't, but they came by. So we even have Michael Bathurst over there. That was, everybody was 500 or higher. So that's we got some good picks there. I was really surprised I went 500. I thought the way the games were going, I was going to be below 500. But good week there as far as that goes. And then the overall, we go to that. Let me bring that down here. You can see on the overall, Tony is leading. You're still killing me. He's 2 games ahead. But with the thing, I'm just.
The season.
I don't want to say this week because I'm looking at the 2 games that have played already. We're tied.
Right. The season just started. I'm not even.
Yeah, the season just started, but this is fun. This gives me something that I like doing this as far as that goes. So this is the overall, and our friend Tim. That's Tim Fan 40. That's he's a contractor out there in Michigan. He's taking part here. And Brian, like I said, he has week 2. I just have to plug them in and catch him up. Michael Bathurst only had last week, so I'm not going to put him on the overall until we get like a couple weeks maybe and stuff. But he didn't have a complete list as far as this week, as far as that goes. So, but it definitely, and like I said last week, this is a little bit more of a picture. Oh, let's see. Let me get that out of the way. A little bit more of a picture to look at as far as what we're doing here and stuff like that. In addition to your fantasy football standings and stuff like that. Yes. So who's leading in the fantasy football? Oh, there's Brian. Brian's in the chat.
Let's see what we got going on here. He's on his way. All right, Brian, I got you covered. You're on. I don't see you pop up yet. You haven't popped up yet. I think he's out and about.
Okay.
And if you're out about Brian, you're good, man. I think you did tell me that, so we all right. Let me go ahead and get the ball rolling real quick. I'm on my phone. Yeah, I know you are. I know you're having trouble logging in. Like I said, on your phone, it's going to be a bit of an issue. You got to use your browser, and trust me, it's going to wear your battery out. It's going to.
Oh, is that how it works with the restream?
Yeah, be careful trying to, because I tried to log on my phone one time before.
Really? Okay.
It will wear your battery out, so you all right, man. I did send him your picks too. He does need your week 2 picks. I think.
Week 2 pick. Yeah. It's take forever to load.
Yeah, and trust me, Brian, if you don't have a strong signal, don't do it. I'm gonna save you the headache, man. You good? I got you covered.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and get the ball rolling with this. I'm waiting on Bathurst to pop up. He said he was going to try to be here.
And we'll probably get Ted at the end of the show, right?
Gotcha. We're going to go ahead and start wide receivers week 4. And, of course, NFL.com recommendations and predictions. We all know that Jacksonville and Atlanta is playing right now, but I do tend to just run these numbers as if the game has not started yet. So, ladies and gentlemen, no, I am not crazy. I'm just going with it for what it is and looking at it without cheating. Some of y'all might need to learn that. I'm calling you out. The hell with it.
There you go. Yep.
I don't have no inside information. This is my inside information. Start them. They want to start Jamar Chase and T. Higgins against the Titans. I don't think I have an issue with this, mainly because the Titans have not had a good run. Cincinnati, I do think has been exposed, but I still have them as one of the top AFC teams because they'll probably make it through the playoffs, while a lot of other teams will not. Rich, your thoughts?
Well, going here on this webpage, was it Fantasy Pros? They're projecting him to get 12.5, which is probably within his it's first two. Last week he got 14, so if he's projected at 12, and again, it depends. I think with the receivers, because there's two receivers, there's another Cincinnati receiver. I think Burrows is a big factor and
Right.
stuff. And you said this before, as far as you got the receivers there, but who's got the ball before the receivers gets it? So Burrows is very, very capable as far as that goes. And the game itself, I don't know. This is in Titans home field, and I think Titans they're hungry. So it'll be interesting to see how this game fans out against the Titans. And because I think I picked the Titans, you picked Cincinnati. This will be a good win for Cincinnati as far as that goes.
It will.
If they win. But I say start him. He it seems like right around 12 to 20, or the average for the receivers and stuff like that. And he's got a good quarterback backing him up. And Brian says Burrow is dealing with an ankle, but he's fighting through. Yeah, he's doing what Mahomes did, what Aaron Rodgers did with Green Bay. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see how Burrows does this with Cincinnati's saga starting this season.
Yeah, it will. I mean, the Bengals against the Titans, I got no debate, none at all. Calvin Ridley of the Jaguars against the Falcons. Like we said, that game is already going right now, but Calvin Ridley is due a resurgence, honestly. And this is against his former team. This is kind of messed up in my opinion, but it's bound to happen when you change teams. So right now, I don't necessarily have a debate against this because he has a decent quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. And the Falcons right now, Falcons are 2-1, so they're looking good. We just got to see how the game is going to play out. What you got on it?
For Wrigley, let's see. Again, the ranking looks high. He's projected. What do we got for projections here? Last week against Houston, he didn't do all that great.
Mm-hmm.
Got 4 points and 3 points. First week he did real well. What the hell's his projection here? He's projected at 10 points. So against
I think so too, Brian. Brian, I tend to agree with that. It is a revenge game. Yeah.
Okay. Against
yeah, because he used to be with the Falcons.
Oh, okay. This is a revenge game. Yeah. So he might step up, knowing that it's a revenge game. So
he got to get the ball. That's all it is to it. He got to get the ball.
Yeah,
Calvin Ridley was a top receiver in the NFL. All you got to do is give him the damn ball and watch his smoke, honestly.
Yeah.
And they recommended in the narrative, as you all see right there.
Yeah, the narrative there, that's the thing about when they say stardom on this particular page that you're presenting, that you get a little more in depth and stuff like that. Again, it's what you said before. You got to look at the quarterback. Are they the primary targets for that quarterback? And if they are, of course you're going to start.
You also got to watch that defense too.
Well, that's true too. Yeah, what defense they're matched up against exactly?
DJ Moore of the Bears versus the Denver Broncos. I don't necessarily have a debate against this one, except for we don't see a lot from Chicago's offense, in my opinion. We never see enough, but the Broncos are abysmal.
The Broncos. I really think this game after last week's Miami debacle, that this is a key game. The CBS has the Broncos favored to win, and I think it's primarily they need to win this. If they don't win this, their season go. And then Brian's got something there.
Yeah, Adam Thielen. Yeah,
Yeah.
Steelers going to go against his former team. Yeah, I did see a story on that. I didn't read it, but I saw it pop up on my news feed that Steelers has some things to say about this game and this matchup. That's his former team. He was
Yeah.
a monster with the Vikings. Carolina, let me tell you, well, we're going to get
Now,
to I'm going to get to that later, Brian. You hold that thought. Remind me to get back on that. But DJ Moore was a great receiver. Actually, I only saw one good season with him when he was in Carolina. I think that was last
yeah.
year. And
Last week,
he had that
yeah,
one incident where he was overacting in the end zone and cost them a little bit. And that was a bit of a tear up for everybody. But I think he will do good against the Broncos.
last week he had 10 points fantasy, and this week he's only projected 8. So that if he's only projected 8, that's maybe that's a tall tale. It's like that's not looking good. I don't think. It's just like. But then again, Russell Wilson, despite the loss, he for an average quarterback, he had some average points there. So it depends on, again, going back to what you said. Is he going to be able to hit those targets?
Yeah, all you got to do is get in the ball. And DJ Moore, somebody you want to get the ball to. Honestly.
Yeah, he's fully capable and stuff like that. So
Absolutely. Without question. Without question. What we got next? We got Tank Dell of the Texans.
Yeah, this guy.
Who is this guy?
I did a little pre-reading on this guy. Well, I read the whole thing. I got up early enough to where I could do the pre-reading, so I'm not going by the fly. But I just know that this guy right here, he might be pretty good for Houston.
Okay, good.
But then again, the Steelers, I think they're favorite. They're favorite to win. But this guy has some stats that.
I'm reading that right now. 17 targets over the last 2 weeks and 20 fantasy points in both games. Okay.
But he's only projected for 6.8 points, though. That's the thing. I'm just wondering again. I'm looking at some new stats here that maybe that's because of the Pittsburgh might step up their defense and stuff like that. But last week he lit it up. He had 20 and a half points on their game last week against the Jags. And he got 145 yards. That's over 100 in the first week. He had 34 receiving yards and 72.
That means he's on a roll.
Yeah, and that was that 145 was just 5 receptions compared to the week before.
He's on a roll.
So, and that was 20 points last week. So, I think I picked. I'm not sure who I picked on this, but I think I picked Houston. I think I got Houston on this game as far as.
This means he's on the roll. Yeah, I'm good with it. What are you going to say? You got 20 points in the past 2 weeks. People are trying to pick you.
No, just last week. Last week on the game, he had 20 points for last.
In the past 2 games, he said 20 fantasy points in the narrative. So I got you. And apparently,
that was just the weeks prior. First week, he did 12-4 the first, and or is that the average? That's points. No, 3.4 in the first week, and he had 13.2. So he's scaling up.
Yeah, he's scaling up. You got to
grab him. I would definitely start this guy. He's hot. You
got to grab him. If you need deeper options, Panthers veteran Adam Thielen is coming off a monster game where he caught 11 of 14 for 145 and a touchdown. He's a deeper option this week against the Vikings revenge game. There goes Brian. Brian, there he is. They got you. Which have allowed the third most yards to receivers. Chargers rookie Quentin Johnson is on the upside shot with Mike Williams sideline. Yeah, Mike Williams sideline is going to hurt the Chargers. I will say that. Speaking of players in line for more burn, Marvin Mims Jr. has run 26 routes procedures, 9 targets. Yeah, he leads the Broncos in yards. Wow. We got he will have to see more run today. He needs to get more opportunities to play his upside flyer this week against the Bears, which allowed 10th most yards to receivers. Call this last one a feeling, but Giants rookie Jalen Hyatt is a sneaky this week. The Seahawks have allowed the 6th most yards to receivers, and they especially struggle against the deep ball. That's Hyatt's strength. Okay, there you go, y'all. You better go grab Hyatt while you can. I'm giving you the inside troop right now. Inside scoop right now. Go get Jalen Hyatt for the Giants.
I think of all of the stardoms, this guy is hot. This guy is hot, and again, it's going to depend on what is it? The Titans. I think this guy might light up Cincinnati, and then like Brian said, it's a revenge game.
Yeah. So University of Houston's putting out players. Okay, cool. All right, sit him. DeAndre Hopkins against the Bengals. This is saying a lot against the Titans offense.
We got one more for stardom, don't we?
No, that was it.
Don't we have? Oh, okay. No, okay. Okay. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, you good. Sitting DeAndre Hopkins, honestly, y'all, I really don't want to. But Titans offense isn't the best from what I'm hearing and seeing, and they also relying on the running game more than anything. There's a lot of talent on this Titans offense. Unfortunately, it hasn't translated into production of fantasy points. Agreed. Hopkins has scored 8 fantasy points or fewer in 2 straight games, which is not good because he's a better receiver than that. Yeah. Do not be fooled. After seeing 13 targets in week 1, he has received 7 or fewer in each of the last 2 games. His yards per route sits at 1.9, which ties his lowest mark in the season since 2017. Exactly. Hopkins is still a great individual talent, but Ryan Tannehill and this offense do not seem capable of getting the most out of him, which blows my mind. Hopkins has a 56% catch rate, but has snagged 82% of his catchable targets, catchable in damn near italics, for those of you who graduated high school and still understand English. So many of his targets are just not catchable. I need to see Hopkins, who's been playing banged up, have a big game in this offense before I trust him again. Plus, the Bengals have been very stingy to wide receivers. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And just 1 touchdown to this position. See, I said that about them in the Super Bowl. You could not throw against them in the Super Bowl. The secondary was phenomenal.
Yeah.
The secondary was phenomenal.
And again, that goes back to Hopkins. I don't know. Tennessee figured they got a hot hand on the quarterback, but he only the last 3 weeks has been averaging maybe 5 points a game. And his receiving yard is averaging anywhere between as high as 65 in week 1, and last week he got 48.
Right.
Oh, he's definitely under that. I guess I'm going to say the benchmark of 8 points where it said stardom. That if you got somebody better, go ahead and put him in.
I hate to say that because
I do too.
You want DeAndre Hopkins as wide receiver, trust me.
But just in his defense, and just saying that you never know, this guy might light up. You never know. You just
he may get the ball.
And has happened. So just to put that out there too.
Exactly. Garrett Wilson of the New York Jets against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Ooh, that's.
We don't think the Jets are going to beat the Chiefs.
No.
Let's be clear. I'm not even sure if the players will put up numbers against the Chiefs.
No, with the defense. Yeah.
Let's just be. I cannot debate.
Good point, Tony. Good point.
I cannot debate this one. Jesus Christ. 9.8 fantasy points, finishing outside the top 40 wide receivers. Not his fault, but as long as Zach Wilson is his QB, it'll be extremely tough to trust Garrett Wilson in fantasy. Exactly. I saw the argument on the sideline.
Yeah, his first 2 weeks were good. He averaged 9.5 points. Last week was really bad. He only had how do you get 4.5 points? 48 yards reception, which is well. And the first 2 weeks been 55. So again, this is again. I think going against the Chiefs, the projection is 8.5. It's a little bit more than Hopkins here, but even still, they're going against the Chiefs, like you said.
He gets a touchdown. He can sit down. Garrett Wilson, you get a touchdown, we'll be good.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Jesus, that hurt.
Yeah, it's like, because you want the Jets to win.
Jahan Dotson of the Commanders and the Eagles. I wouldn't start anybody on the Commanders against the Eagles.
No, I'm not even going to look at his fantasy football points. I just say
barely the defense.
He's not worth the look.
I'm not even going to lie. You can debate this all you want. Good luck. Matter of fact, this is your long shot gamble if you want to, y'all.
Yeah.
You put anybody of the Commanders against
the Eagles. No, that's a divisional game.
A major upset if this happened. This would be
and I don't foresee it. It's in Philly. If it does, then there's something wrong going. There's something going on with the. There's some turmoil going on, or something like that would be an indication.
I'm just saying. If you want to start anybody in the Commanders, my highest recommendation would be the damn defense, and you probably won't get too many points off of that. Kendrick Bourne of the Patriots.
Brian says I've kept Wilson on the bench, so.
Yeah, you got to put Wilson on the bench. Kendrick Bourne of the Patriots against the Cowboys. I have no debate on this one.
Yeah, he's only projected 6 points, and that's going against the Cowboys. They're going to be they're in Dallas, right? I guess for this game.
They're in Dallas, and the Patriots against Dallas. I see Dallas. It was easy.
Yeah, I think Dallas is after the thing with last week. They're hungry and they're
I think Dallas is going to win this game hands
yes,
down.
yes,
Ladies
yes.
and gentlemen, those are your wide receiver recommendations for Week 4 of the 2023 season, and of course, NFL.com. Good Lord have mercy. Good Lord have mercy. Quarterbacks, yes. Let's do quarterbacks. Once the page loads.
Yeah. I get right there too. I'm following you. I'm getting better at this as far as following you now. And like being in church with the our Sunday fantasy Belt Kings fantasy football church.
Fantasy football church. The Cowboys, Brian, you know what? The Cowboys, they're just going to play regular football. They don't even have to step up against the Patriots. The Patriots have not looked the best, and it is early in the season. We recommend starting Daniel Jones against the Seahawks. Oh, I've got to read this. Jones was a sit in weeks 1 and 3 and scored less than 5 fantasy points each. I think I want to challenge that. And it may have been because of the leagues and how the league settings was set. Because I know he got 40 points in one game on my Yahoo league. And that's a sleep. We got a sleeper dynasty league going on. He put out some major, but it might have been the league settings.
Gotcha.
In week 2 was scored over 30 fantasy points. That might have been week 2. Okay, actually ended up as a QB1. Yes, he did. So apparently, I've been the Danny Dimes whisperer so far this season. He gets a good matchup in week 4 against the Seahawks, who have allowed the second most passing yards this season. That I did not know. One of just 2 teams to allow more than 1,000 yards through the air. In fact, last week they allowed 361 yards, 2 touchdowns to Andy Dalton. Plus, while Jones has struggled under pressure, Seattle generates quarterback heat around the league, average 36.8%. League average is 35.2%. Jones can be started in a favorable matchup. Okay, based on that, I would.
Well, last week he only got five points.
Yeah, based on that narrative, I would.
His projection this week is 19. So there's something going on. I would start him. I would definitely start him.
Yeah, based on what
he's still a premier quarterback, so I think he still rates. He had a bad game last week as far as against San Francisco with the stats. He only had
it was the 49ers. That answers it right there.
Yeah, 49ers and then he did against Arizona. That was a loss, wasn't it, against Arizona? Or no, they won that in overtime. He had 31 points. He lit it up on that game, but so they're looking at 19. I would say start him. What's this, Matt?
For me as of right now. This one's going to shock me right here.
Okay?
Start Russell Wilson against the Bears.
Yeah, read that narrative.
Wilson is
it's a very interesting narrative because this could be because the Bears. There's
Ted in the house.
We got Ted in the house. Good morning, Ted. Thank you for your picks, and thank you for your picks also, Bri. I still got to plug them in, but you're on the board too.
Get him. He got a message in there for you.
Oh, he does. I got the private chat. Oh, let's see. I'm changing my picks. Oh, you're changing picks. New Orleans, Los Angeles, over. Okay, let me write that down. I got it on
Louisiana, not New Orleans, Los Angeles. It's Louisiana.
Oh, Louisiana, New Orleans. You're changing it over. Okay, because you had Tampa Bay. Yeah, I was wondering about that one. Everybody else is picking New Orleans on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Brian said he's going to roll the dice on the Giants, and Brian's also going to take Breida will play due to Barkley being doubtful. Matt Breida says to break out. I had him a few seasons ago in one of my leagues, and guys kind of laughed at me. I said, "No, there's something about that dude that I think I would put him on my squad." Did he do a whole lot? No, not that season. This was back when he was with the 49ers. While Rich is doing that, let me throw this narrative out there. Wilson has eclipsed 300 passing yards in 2 straight games. That I did not know. He has thrown multiple passing touchdowns in 2 to 3 contests this season. He ran 56 yards 2 weeks ago. I did hear about that, showing he still has the ability, even if you can't count on the weekly facts. Wilson has averaged more than 19 fantasy points per game since the Broncos let go of Nathaniel Hackett after week 16 last season. But this is also largely about the matchup. The Bears have allowed the 5th most passing yards and a tie for 3rd most passing touchdowns allowed. They have given up 38, 27, and 41 points to their opponents so far. Chicago is now a defense we're looking to stream against. Whew. That ain't good.
Oh, Derek Carr's scheduled to play in that New Orleans. That's why you're changing it.
Okay. I mean, that's what Ted's saying. Yeah, he's changing it up.
Yeah. And that's the projection. Another 19 points for Russell Wilson in Chicago. not that good of play there the last 3 weeks and stuff like that. So Russell Wilson, I would start him again. I'm with the Broncos throughout the season and stuff like that. So it's just like maybe this would probably like we were talking before. This could be a do or die game for the.
Looks like a do game already.
Yeah,
Looks like a game to keep them in the league.
Yeah, to keep it in, because if you go for well, then again, you look at Cincinnati last year. They were able to come back, but I don't think the Broncos have the capability like Cincinnati did last year. So
gotcha. Brock Purdy of the 49ers.
Oh, I think I'm not even looking at it. That's an automatic.
There's no debate here. Anybody who has a debate, I'm actually going to give you 10 seconds to go ahead and try. I'll wait.
I'm just curious on what the projection points are for him, though. What's the projected points? Let's see. Let's see. Projected points for Purdy for this week.
Plenty.
Plenty. 17.9. So he's actually a point or two below Russell, but that's just I think, let's see, what has he done overall? He had 20 last week and then 17 in the first 2 weeks. No, let's see, what 16, 14, and then 20. So, but they're playing the Cardinals. Then again, the Cardinals, they're, even though they lost last week in overtime to the Giants.
Yeah.
They're still they're a surprising team. I didn't think they were going to be playing that good because they didn't really. The one time I saw them in the preseason, they're a sleeper. I'm going to say that they're a sleeper.
Mm-hmm. The Cardinals have been a sleeper, but they're just not showing it.
Yeah,
they've been a sleeper to me for quite a few seasons. They're just not showing.
Well, yeah. They're gonna upset the mix, I think, in some of their games too. So
okay, I got a question here. Now they recommend starting Justin Fields over the Broncos. It's been a rough start for Fields and the Bears. I know many of you want to cut the bait, and maybe I'm crazy, but I'm willing to give the third year QB one more chance. That's fair. So because of the matchup, the Broncos just gave up 70 points to the Dolphins. Facts. The week prior, they allowed 35 points to the Commanders. Facts. They have the fourth most passing yards and the most rushing yards in the NFL. Well, then you've got to. They've also given up the most passing touchdowns and are tied for the most in rushing touchdowns allowed. Every quarterback that has faced this defense is thrown for multiple passing scores. There it is. This is the ultimate get-right spot for Fields. If he struggles against Denver, then you can finally move on. So this may be one of the most watched or one of the highlight games of the week that people need to check into. Because on that information that both sides going for it right now. Yeah,
and he's projected the same amount of points, fantasy football points, as Russell Wilson. And the last several weeks, he had 14.6 first, or 16, 15, 16, and then 11 on the week 1 through 3. His passing yards last week wasn't that good against Kansas City, but that was Kansas City. But against Green Bay and Tampa Bay, he had over 200 yards passing. So in the first game, he's dangerous because he's got that rushing aspect too, right? He's a young guy,
and it's looking to me like the Broncos defense isn't any good.
Yeah, there we go. Fields will run the ball, small amount of passing. Brian says,
Got him. Streamer option: Garoppolo, the Raiders against the Chargers. Let me be clear. Did he get hurt last week? Yeah, he did. Okay. It's coming up this fantasy game.
It might not be that serious. It's given the fact that
he's now throwing multiple touchdowns. Okay, he's throwing touchdowns in 2 to 3 games. We saw about the matchup. The Chargers have allowed the most passing yards in the NFL. They're tied for third most passing touchdowns allowed. Last week, Kirk Cousins got 348 yards and 3 touchdowns. Every quarterback they face has posted at least 21 fantasy points. 2 of them top 25. So that's the Charger defense they're talking against.
So what did they say about his fantasy points?
Kirk Cousins had 348 yards, 3 scores, and every quarterback they faced had posted at least 21 fantasy points. So the Chargers defense is being called out. Garoppolo's in play as a streaming option this week as long as he clears concussion protocol. Yes, but I thought he got hurt last week. So
so he's projected
on your radar is what they're saying.
Yeah, he's projected for 15 though. I
Jeez.
think as far as
Exactly.
what is it? Player does not have a week 4 projection available. Oh, they don't have a projection, but the chart he last week he put up 20 points and first week 16-9. So yeah, he did get injured last week, didn't he?
You got to clear concussion protocol. So once he
Okay. Oh,
we're
okay.
waiting
Maybe
on.
that's a little quick clearing out of that, is it?
It's early. They
Aren't
gotta
they
wait.
usually in there for a couple of
They
weeks?
gotta wait.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
gotta wait. That's why he's just an option. He's on
yeah,
the radar.
yeah.
Sit him. Sit Joe Burrow against the Titans.
Who do you got though?
I can't make this up, man. I can't make this up.
Yeah.
He had a
It's
calf
just like,
injury.
so maybe that's why when we're looking at those receiver, they said start the receivers, but if you don't have a good quarterback, like you've been saying since day one, who's gonna,
We're going to find out in a second.
that's sort of like it's contradicting itself,
Mm-hmm. Burrow's clearly not right, and it's evident to anyone who has watched him or glanced at his stats. He has completed just one deep pass this season. Everything is short and quick, and that's a tough way to put up fantasy points. He's only thrown 2 touchdowns this season, along with 2 interceptions, and there is 0 rushing production to compensate. It's okay to put Burrow on the bench until he shows that he's healthy. I got to admit that. This week against the Titans, who've allowed a lot of pass game production this season, but also get pressure on the quarterback. They picked up a sack on 8% of their plays, which is the top 10 rate in the NFL. They also generate pressure a little bit more than league average, just below the Browns, but a lot more than the Ravens and the Rams.
I'm
The idea,
I'm seeing a
yeah,
pattern.
he's not 100%. I mean, I thank them for even telling me he's not 100%.
And I'm seeing a pattern here on the fantasy football projections and stuff. This is the second one. There's no projected points projected for him. So even the fantasy football projection points are saying sit him. That's what I'm getting from this now. That's
And that's all
interesting.
it is too.
That's an interesting game. Okay, we'll see on the next one here if it still goes. But I don't know if I'd be. He's still a premier quarterback. The guy makes the most money.
They paid him for what he's done. They paid him for what he's
the
done,
big
but he's hurt.
But the big fact, yeah, that's true. The big factor, he is hurt.
He's hurt. That's
But
what we need to know.
is
He's
he?
not 100%.
I think watching him over especially the last 2 weeks, he has that look. If you look at his now, he wants to play good. You see his demeanor on the sideline and stuff like that, and he you can just see what's going in his mind. It's like, I got to play effing better than what I'm doing right
He's
now.
not 100%. He can't. That's what I need to know. Is my player's not 100%? That's what I need to know, and I'm grateful for that information. So who's their backup is the next question. We'll have to find out later on. CJ Stroud of the Texans versus the Steelers. I don't necessarily have too much of a debate against this, except for the Steelers are able to slow anybody's game down in Texas.
Let's see that's a sit 'em, right?
No, this is a start 'em.
Okay,
They want to start CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud's actually doing pretty good. This one could blow up my face, and I get that exactly. Stroud is a 100% breakout candidate you want on your roster right now. Facts. But I'm not sure you want him in your starting lineup this week. Stroud has been great, but he has struggled a bit under pressure so far this season. He had the second most dropbacks under pressure behind only Sam Howell, who in next gen stats rank him 26 of 35 while under pressure as far as quarterbacks. Stroud has a passer rating of 78.2 and a 53.3 completion percentage when under pressure, and the Steelers bring the heat. Exactly. They will pressure the quarterback. They generate pressure 30% of the time and have the 3rd highest sack rate in NFL. Exactly. No quarterback has reached 18 fantasy points against them in 2023, and you still recommend starting him? Consider this a final test for Stroud. If he puts up numbers against the Steelers, you have an every week starter on your hands. Okay. So take a chance on him this week, and if it works,
is this a start him or a sit 'em? No, this is a sit 'em.
Oh, this is sit 'em. My apologies.
Okay, yeah.
You caught me on that one.
But I would say I would disagree because fantasy football, he's projected to get 16 points. So
you know what's crazy?
I think
I'm glad you said that because I was thinking this was start him and they recommend sitting him. Now here's the kicker. I agree with sitting him, but I see why you want to start him because of his numbers. The Steelers can stop you, which is originally what I said. The Steelers can stop you. But if they beat the Steelers with that frontline defense pressure, you got to win with him for the season. And he's a rookie.
Brian just saying in the chat, TJ Watt will bring the noise. So, but he is projected the first one of the sit 'em.
My apology, that was the sit 'em.
He
Do
had
recommend
he had
sitting him. Yes.
I don't know. If you get it should be, he had 20 points last week. He's projected at 16. That's above on most of the stardoms. So let's see what was his stats there for the first wow, he had 384 yards passing against Indianapolis, 280 last two TDs. I don't
I'm gonna tell you,
know.
this is exactly what they said. They're gonna pressure him.
I would
So he's gonna have to do a lot of
yeah.
dropbacks, and then guess what's gonna happen?
Well, let's see if Houston can step up to the game.
The
Just like
Pittsburgh defense, if they pressure him, you know what else that leads to?
well, that's the thing. The defense, that's the key. Yes,
He is
I
going
agree.
to be throwing interceptions. You see, Pittsburgh fans, you already know it, and I wouldn't be surprised if Glick was there with Nicky already. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Sit Deshaun Watson against the Ravens. Deshaun Watson numbers haven't been the best from what I've heard. I heard he had a crazy game. He had some bad highlights recently. Watson was able to take advantage of a good matchup, produce his best game as a Brown last week. Okay, throwing for 289 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 27-3 win over the Titans. Okay, but this week he has a much tougher matchup in division rival Ravens. Baltimore has allowed an average of 230 passing yards per game and surrendered just 3 passing touchdowns through 3 games, yielding just 5.4 yards per passing attempt. The Ravens ranked third in the league. That's good. Plus, the Browns' defense has been extremely stingy, though I never say to sit Lamar Jackson, meaning this could be a defensive battle. I will put Watson on the bench this week. So maybe I had my week wrong. There was a week they put up some – he threw the ball in the wrong direction and all that craziness. I don't know what was going on. So it sounded like they got offensive line struggles. But I actually had Deshaun Watson. He was going to be my quarterback this season had I drafted him. On my dream roster, my original one that I wanted to do, I wanted Deshaun Watson to be my quarterback. That one game would have destroyed me and everybody would have talked about it. I don't know if – let me see something. Oh,
and this is another
my bad, Brian. You're right. He's not going to Houston, no. When Cleveland and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, this is another sit-em that he has no projected.
He's got no projected. And if the Ravens defense is that good and Lamar Jackson doing his thing, I don't know if Cleveland can hang with them. Cleveland got work to do. Me and Glick talked about this a lot. Yeah. I've always said Cleveland got to come out this season or they're done. Personally, they'll be done. It's been 4 or 5 seasons of them having an outstanding roster and they're looking like the Raiders. You got people, you just can't do nothing with it. They've gone a little bit farther than the Raiders, but they just can't do enough with the team they got. Sit Kenny Pickett of the Steelers.
So maybe this is a reversal of maybe the Houston Texans have a defense. That's why I say
so. Pretty much, this is going to be a game where you want to watch who's going to mess up the worst.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good defensive game as far as that goes.
Best game to throw.
Keep an eye on
his first game with multiple passing touchdowns. He finished with 235 passing yards, 2 scores, 18.5 fantasy points in week 3. That's good numbers. Kenny Pickett. Yeah, there's a lot of hype around him being a quarterback for the Steelers. I'm not even going to debate that. You got to face the Texans. He's also going to have the summer, so maybe Sunday football win his conviction streak.
Well, they've got a projection 15.5 points for him, where the other ones they didn't. So that's.
So Texas defense is not to be slacked on, and I did see that one game. They were kind of hard.
I think this could be. Their recommends sitting them, but I don't know.
Texas may be resurging. They just might be resurging.
Yeah, that could
might be resurging now. Wookiees aren't allowed in Texas. I'm not doing this with you, Brian. No, ladies and gentlemen, those are your quarterback recommendations for Week 4 the 2022 season. NFL.com. Please stay up, Brian.
Brian,
oh my God! Oh, we are now going to tight ends. Carmen's favorite category and player. Yeah, Carmen, when you see this, I said it. Starter, Sam Laporta of the Lions against the Packers. I'm kind of skeptical on this one.
Okay.
Wasn't this a Thursday night game?
Yeah, Thursday night. The Detroit Lions won. They won 34-20. So this was
that game, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So we
went back and forth, but they were a Lions rate. This is a divisional game too. So this was in Green Bay. This was at Lambeau Field. They had I was watching some of this game. They had some pictures of the neighborhood around that stadium.
Mm-hmm.
One man, if you're a Green Bay fan and you got the stadium, some of the shots they had, that's a it's an old style type stadium, but the pictures it's just the normal old houses that were built back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, so to speak. It was
Yes.
pretty picturesque.
Got you covered. Got you covered. So honestly, I think so. Let's say I didn't watch that game. I hadn't seen that game yet. Would I have started Sam Laporta? I think I might have tried it. Green Bay's been doing good, but Detroit, I think they're going to be on a roll this season, and it is the regular season early. They're going to take every chance they get to get in the playoffs. I think I would have started this. I don't have much against this. Darren Waller of the Giants against the Seahawks. Darren Waller is one of the old school tight ends, and I'm going to say old school. He's been around for a minute. He's just not getting any numbers.
Right.
The Seahawks have allowed the 6th most yards to tight ends. Don't panic on Waller yet. Just give him another shot. Absolutely. I 100% agree. You want to get him. You got the top 3-quarter tight ends. Kelsey, Kittle, Andrews. I tend to throw Waller and Jonnu Smith up there. Right behind them. So Waller and Jonnu Smith will be like 4 and 5. Switch them how you want to after the original 3. I do recommend Waller as a tight end. I don't give a damn what the numbers say or what team he's on. The brother will ball. Honestly, the brother will ball.
Waller, he's projected, well, just like the other guy. The tight ends, they don't get the high points. Who was the guy first there? He only had 6.7. This individual, 6.7. Typical, I guess, looking at the numbers, it's a typical, yardage for tight end. They're not really monstrous and stuff like that. Darrell is a must. Brian is saying, okay.
Yeah, he's a must. As a tight end, he's a must. I can't debate that at all. You want him. Go ahead and take it. That's a player you take a chance on.
Right,
any league in any season until he retires. I would take a chance on him and Gerald Everett. Gerald Everett doesn't put up a lot of numbers, but you want him when he gets there. Luke Musgrave. Is it Musgrave or Musgrove? Musgrave. Yeah, over the Lions. I didn't get their numbers. Apparently he's a top 10 tight end of week 3. Okay, good. 6 of 8 for 49, good for 10.9 fantasy points. Facts.
Let's see what he did in the game.
Routes. He had more targets in that game. Now he has the best matchup. Okay, so I don't know how that game went, but they recommended
I can get his stats here real quick. As far as where is he at? Okay, here it is. He let's see if he had. It seems like the average for tight ends is about 6 points. He was projected for 5.5, and actually in the game he got 0.1. He only had 1 reception for 1 yard for 1 reception. So I don't know. They said start him. Probably.
They say start him. So, like I said, that game was Thursday night.
I think this was projection beforehand, figuring Green Bay. Green Bay has that mystique about him. So, but he didn't come up to he didn't come up to speed at all as far as that goes. So,
gotcha.
Pittsburgh Steelers,
Pat Fryermuth of the Steelers at the Texans. I wouldn't have debated this at all. I'm not going to. I kind of recommend it. I think he did get a touchdown last week.
Okay.
Let's see. You want them to get in the end zone at least once. You want them to get some yards during the game. He won't be a lot of points. Once you see 10 points on the tight end, you can't be mad about it. And I think he'll get that easily.
Well, no, he's projected. He got 10 points last week, but he's projected for only 5 this week.
Yeah, based on that Texas defense that we heard about earlier. Yeah. So no debate there. None. Sit him. Kyle Pitts of the Falcons against the Jaguars. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah, I'm a supporter of Kyle Pitts, too.
Oh, you'd start him?
They say sit him.
But you would start
going on right now. I would have started him, yes.
Okay.
I would have started him. That game's going on right now. I don't know if anybody's got the numbers. What we got here? We got Jers from Twitch. What's up, Jers?
Oh, that's right. They're in the third quarter. Okay, gotcha. I'm looking at the thing. That's right. I thought
Jers, give me 1 second. Golf Hawk was good, man. Yeah, I know they're playing. We already talked about they playing.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm making my expectation or prediction
as if they were. Yeah. We're just looking at the numbers beforehand as far as.
Let me see what we got here. A Shane of Ford. Let's see what we got here.
Let's see, Kyle Pitts. Just curious on what his projection
Go for
is.
that. Jers, a shame.
Another 5.9. So that it seems like the average for the tight ends is like right in the 5 to 6 range and stuff like that. There's nothing really.
Give me 1 second, real quick. Jers, a shame. I see he's a running back for the Dolphins. Ford, who is what you're asking? Trying to see what he's asking about.
Yeah, Kerner Ford.
Jerome Ford or Devon
Ford.
Shane. You talking about Jerome Ford?
Ford from the Browns, Cleveland.
Cleveland against Baltimore? No. Devon Shane against Buffalo? I would probably take a Shane. I'm not putting none of those Brown players against the Ravens based on what I just read. Now, Buffalo has had a couple of issues, and I'll go ahead and say this myself. Ford is a Brown starter now. Yeah. The Dolphins against the Bills, I'll take a shot of the Dolphins against the Bills over the Browns against the Ravens right now. Personally. Based on what I just read, the Browns probably won't hang with that Ravens defense. But Miami will go up against the Bills, and the Bills have been having a couple of issues people don't want to talk about. That would just be my recommendation.
It's not Josh Allen's. He favors Buffalo Pepsi over all the rest of the Pepsi, is it?
I'm not sure. I'm not doing this.
I saw that. It's like, are you really Pepsi's different in Buffalo than it is other places? Like, holy crap.
Jazz, I appreciate you coming through. Golf Hawk, Belt Kings Fantasy Football League, Season 1 champion. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, golf.
There is a link in the chat on IG if you want to come up, bro. Doors open to you, honestly. Kyle Pitts against Jaguars. Yeah, we got to set. Like I said, the game's going on. Somebody give me the numbers when you get a chance. Zach Ertz of the Cardinals against the 49ers. I'd sit him.
Yeah, he's got projected 4.7 points. And
Zach Ertz is a great tight end. But he's going
last week,
he only got 49ers. They're going up against the 49ers.
Yeah, he only got 0.6 last week against Dallas.
Yeah, I'd
set him. Yeah,
that's the hell out of him. This one kind of hurts. Njoku against the Ravens. Now, I just said the Browns are not going to do nothing against the Ravens based on what we read. Njoku was a great tight end. That was 2-3 seasons ago.
Right.
That was 2-3 seasons ago. He may need to break out this game. If he's got a way to jump in there and do it, he needs to do it. I got no debate against this.
Right.
None. Dalton Schultz of the Texans against the Steelers. Brian just talked about this. Yep. Dalton Schultz can do it and should do it. It's going to be about whether or not he gets it done. And it's not even going to be his fault with that Steelers front defense.
Well, that's the big factor, like you said before, the defense. The Pittsburgh, they're showing that they have a defense, and Pitts has a 1.8 points from what Golf is saying.
Now, he can get the Steelers, which have allowed the 6 fewest yards to the position. Schultz cannot be started until we see him produce for his new team. Absolutely. He was a beast on the Cowboys.
All right.
He was a beast on the Cowboys. Golf Hall giving an update. Pitts has 1.8 points. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I hate to say sit Dalton Schultz, but he's going up against Steelers. I find it risky.
Yeah, he's
projected are taken. Start him. That would
he's projected 4.9 last week. He got 0.9. He had one reception for 9 yards. So yeah, I think that's a given right there as far as that goes.
I think he's blocking more than catching.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, those are your tight end recommendations. Week 4, 2023 season, of course, NFL.com. Lord have mercy, that hurt.
The tight ends, they were compared. I mean, they were. Even the stardoms was like, oh, I'm not sure.
What we got here.
What are we looking at now?
I don't have a running back section. I'm trying to find the running backs. We've got flexes.
Yeah, I see week 4. That's start him and send him the defense. That's I don't think they don't have a start him or sit him for running backs, do they? I've never. As far as
here we go.
Which one's this?
Nope, that's not it either.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then we'll leave that be, and I will go to what they have listed, and that's going to be flexes. It looks like
flexes for the 4
flex positions. Yeah.
Let's see what that says.
Christian McCaffrey given, Justin Jefferson given, Tyreek Hill given, Jamar Chase given, Devontae Adams given, Keenan Allen given, Tony Pollard given, CeeDee Lamb given, Stephon Diggs given, AJ Brown given, Travis Kelce given, Bijan Robinson. I mean, Yeah, these are easy. These are easy. These are easy.
Now, what's this mean by flex ranking then?
When you
What's
have a
it?
flex position, it can be a wide receiver, a tight end, or a running back. Now, some
Oh,
leagues have it just wide receiver, running back. Some have wide receiver, tight end. Some have wide receiver,
okay.
running back, tight end. Some even have quarterback in your flex.
Okay, gotcha.
They do, in all honesty.
Right.
Let me go to the defenses. We'll do that.
Defenses.
Clay
Okay.
Schultz, he's going to get targeted often. Pittsburgh is going to blitz a lot. Schultz will be the receiver for CJ. You know what, Golf Fault? The blitz is what I'm watching also. That means he's going to have to block more. If they blitz, they're going to need him to block because you never know who's going to do the blitzing. Not being funny, as much as I agree with you, I do have to look out for that. Defensive, we're going to start with the Eagles' defense against the Commanders. I have no debate.
Oh, that's an automatic right there.
Yeah.
Without saying anything there.
That's
That's
automatic. That's we're given. The Kansas City Chiefs start the Chiefs defense against the Jets. Yes,
yeah.
yes. That's not even a
That's
question.
another automatic. It's just
Yeah,
no argument there.
no,
If you, I don't even know how you could argue that as far as
exactly.
that.
Start the Broncos defense against the Bears. Based on what I just saw and read, I could kind of hear it.
Yeah, and again, it goes for me. It goes back to this is. I don't want to say the desperation game, but it is week 4, and they need to come out of that hole. And if they don't, then this is going to be a sorry season for the Broncos. I'm still riding. I'm still riding with them though. I
Go
think.
for it. Go for it. Start the Bengals defense against Titans. I can't debate that.
Nah, I think that's another one. I'm on the fence of that one, but given you don't know, this is a divisional game too, isn't it? Right?
They're different divisions. The Bengals.
Oh,
And
they're okay.
Golf Hawk. I actually said that earlier. I'm glad you did mention that. I did say that earlier.
Wild pick
If the
Washington.
Commanders upset the Eagles, that would be a monster.
That would be an upset. Yes,
That would be a monster.
But this again, the game is in Philly.
Yeah, that would be a monster.
If it was in Washington, I could agree with that, but I don't know. I think Philly is one of those teams, along with the Seahawks. I always think and Kansas City, if they're at home, they're going to probably more than likely it's an automatic win for them and stuff. If they don't, it definitely will be an upset. Bears and Broncos are in the what's that?
Caleb Williams draft. Yeah. Draft. One of those two teams are going to draft them. Yeah. They will be. That's probably what they're working for. Sit them. The Jets against the Chiefs. You know what? I wouldn't even sit the Jets defense. I wouldn't.
I think their defense is probably better than their offense right now.
That's why I wouldn't.
It's like I think I see that. Hey,
you know what's crazy? Hey, Golf Hawk, I'm gonna give you an upset. Let the Jets beat the Chiefs. Let the Jets beat the Chiefs.
That would be
a monster. That would be a monster.
That would be right up there with that Miami win over the Broncos, a 70-pointer and stuff like that.
Well, that was a monster defeat, but this would be a monster upset.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the Jets don't really have much of an offense people have faith in with Zach Wilson back there right now. Yeah. I'll say that. The Buffalo Bills defense against Dolphins.
I'm going to disagree with this one. Yeah, disagree with this one. It's just like let me read the narrative. I didn't read the narrative on the defense. Go for it. Dolphins just scored. Yeah, that's one game. Okay, that's against the Broncos. This is the Bills now. They have scored most points in the league. Okay, by far. Yeah, okay. But you look at who they played, and okay, they have also surrendered just one sack. The Bills defense has been playing very well, leading the league interceptions record exactly, and second most sacks. It doesn't matter. I don't. Given who the Bills played and given who Dolphins played, I think the Bills have played some quality players or some teams there. I would strongly advise sitting the teams both score at least 20. I'd still there's nothing substantial there to say sit them. The Bills, I totally. This is the one I would totally disagree with. Then again, I'm a Bills fan as far as that goes. I can't see.
This is going to be this is a heavy game to me.
You know, Dolphins, is it a fluke? I don't know. If they romp on the Bills, I'll eat my words. I'll say it here and stuff like that. And the Dolphins are the real deal. They got something going then.
Golf Hawk, remember I said that before the season started? That Jets schedule is ridiculous.
Yeah, you did. You said that a number of times, Tony.
That Jets schedule is torture. and they don't have Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I see you saying Aaron Rodgers is going to be at the game when the Jets play today.
Yeah, I seen some.
So I give them that, but let me tell you something. That schedule the Jets got, and I'm sticking with this. They'd be lucky to see 500, and that was with Aaron Rodgers. So I don't know what the hell is going to happen right now, and I'm gonna say it like that on purpose. I have no idea what's going to happen. The Bills and the Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa's got everybody ready.
No.
The Bills have some gaps or whatever. This isn't just a big division game. This is a big AFC game. One of these two teams just may see the Super Bowl.
I think, yeah.
One of
But
these two teams
look at
just
the
might
next
see the
defense.
Super Bowl.
This is sort of controversial or contradicting. Look at the next sit-em. Miami.
I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. Let's go. Let's go.
Wow.
Let's go. The group has yet to see double digits in fantasy. That's why. That's why.
Okay.
But you know what happens? Ain't nobody going to throw against them. Nobody's going to throw against them. That means they're running the ball when they go up against that Dolphins defense. That's exactly what it is. They running the ball. So you got to sit both defenses based on other teams in the league. They're probably going to get higher points, is what they're saying, Rich. If anybody who doesn't understand fantasy football, when they tell you to sit them, it's because they will not get a whole lot of points.
That's the fantasy
game and enjoying the game, but there's points with specific plays.
You remind me once again. It's a fantasy football.
Yes,
points.
The points during the games that are made. Even though we'll enjoy the game, there are points generated with certain moves and actions. So the Bills may not throw against the Dolphins as much.
Gotcha.
The Dolphins may not throw against the Bills as much. Both teams may just run against each other and throw a pass out here, throw a pass out there. So that's going to come down to secondaries.
Right.
And then it's also going to be about getting in the end zone. We're not going to worry about field goals and extra points. We're about getting to the end zone and people running downfield on you. That's the aspect that for a lot of people out there who do not know. That's what we're looking at as well as the game. We're looking at all of it. We're generalizing everything into one full package. This right here tells me they're not going to throw against each other. They're going to run against each other. However, they will throw to Tyreek Hill. You ain't going to catch him. That brother can run. That brother can run. And the Bills, they got Stephon Diggs who can run and catch as well. So we just got to see if it's going to happen. It may not be a whole lot of points generated between both defenses is exactly what they're saying if you do not understand. That's all that is, honestly. The Packers defense, they say sit them against the Lions. I wouldn't have. And I know that game was already over, but let's be clear.
The Packers defense was pretty decent against, even though they lost the game. But the Lions was just as good too. They had I think they had a couple picks on that game. That was the difference.
And see, that's what you want your defense to do. When you get an interception, that's an automatic 6 off the rip, and then they run it back and throw the points all the way up in the air. Depending on your league settings, you want your defense to get interceptions and run it back to the end zone. That gives your defense a lot of points. That's how they run that. All righty, those are defenses recommendations. Week 4, 2023 season according to NFL.com. I want to try to find the running backs. Let's see what we got here. And I don't see any. These are reporter reports. No disrespect to you all, but I just want to find the positions.
Let's see if they say anything on this just by plugging in running backs.
Off the rip, right there in the beginning. I didn't look at it. Here we go.
Where'd you find that? Let me see.
It was the main story.
Oh,
looking on the side, so that's on my fault. I'll look crazy. It's nobody else's fault. It's my show. I'm the asshole.
No, don't say that.
To hell with y'all. All right. Start on running backs. Raheem Mostert and Devon Achane, which is what Jez was just talking about earlier on Twitch. Appreciate you coming through.
Yep.
And like I said Achane. Or Achane, or I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Brother, if you hear me, my apologies for messing your name up. You're going to start their running backs. We just talked about that a second ago.
Yep.
Raheem Mostert used to be on the 49ers. He's good. Devon Achane, I guess he's new. Looks like they're putting up numbers. There's a narrative. I don't have a debate.
Gotcha.
I don't have a debate on this. None. Zero. Not a zilch. I'm going to keep it moving. Jahmyr Gibbs of the Lions against the Packers. This game was the other night. I did not see his numbers.
No.
I think I would have started him. And I know David Montgomery got a touchdown in that. I do remember that. Actually, he did. Did he play on Thursday night? I thought he scored.
I think he did. Yes. Yes. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm good. Alvin Kamara against the Bucks. I wish you would try and challenge this. Anybody out there? I'll wait. Rich, this is because you don't know, and you may not know this. You may not remember this. A couple seasons ago, Alvin Kamara got 6 touchdowns in one game.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
6 in one game.
Yeah.
I got him on one of my leagues.
Oh, wow.
He was suspended for the first 3 games. He's on the bench. I just activated his ass.
Right.
6 touchdowns in one game. Don't drop him if you don't want to. Somebody
New Orleans, they're on a roll. They are on a roll. They're a good team, and so it's just like and they like running. They have
New Orleans. They'll run, but Alvin Kamara's been a monster on that team.
Yeah. Yes, I agree.
There is no challenge from me on
that. I remember you saying that before. Yeah.
There is no challenge. James Cook of the Bills against the Dolphins. Here we go. Cook played 60% of the snaps with 15 carries and 3 targets and went for 112 yards in Buffalo's Week 3 beatdown in Washington. He has topped 100 total yards in 2 straight games. Has given you double-digit fantasy points in every game. Yep. He didn't get this touchdown this past Sunday, but he was close and did get a goal line carry. Plus, he has a nice matchup this week against the Dolphins, who've allowed the 9th most rushing yards to running backs this season. Didn't I just say they were going to run the ball a lot? I just said that.
And this is a hyped up game to where they know it's divisional, and
this is divisional and Super Bowl potential.
Both sides, they're going to be playing a little bit above their normal performance, I think.
Yes, they've also allowed 3 rush touchdowns to the position this season. This should be a high-scoring game, and you want exposure. I think we need to watch this game. If you need deeper options, the running backs in the Bronco Bears games are in play. Javonte Adams with the Broncos. The snaps 42% and touches 13 in Week 3. But this is all about the matchup. The Bears have allowed 100 rushing yards per game to running backs and just allowed 4 touchdowns to Chiefs backs. On the other side, Khalil Herbert and Rashawn Johnson have been splitting work, with Herbert holding a slight lead. The Broncos allowed the most rushing yards and rushing touchdowns in the NFL. Chicago's guys are in play in deeper leagues. I find that interesting. We did not see that earlier. We didn't discuss that earlier.
Yeah. But just like golf there says, you did talk about this guy before. So
no, he was talking about when I was talking about the Jet schedule.
Oh, the Jet schedule. Okay.
Yeah, Jet schedule. That's where that comment came from. I did catch that earlier. Khalil Herbert was recommended as a sleeper, I think, last season or the season before. I remember hearing that when I was watching a couple of the sports channels. Javonte Williams is a decent running back, even though he's on a team that's losing. You do want those 2 players as running backs on your fantasy roster, if at all, ever. If you don't draft them, watch them for when they're on the bench and keep them. You want them. Khalil Herbert hasn't broken out yet, and I have been watching him. Javonte Adams, I'm going to start watching him soon. Those are just their recommendations. I kind of agree with them. I do. Rashawn Johnson, I don't know enough about yet, honestly. Sit him. Brian Robinson of the Commanders against the Eagles. Any questions?
Nah, Commanders. That's all I have to say is Commanders.
Breece Hall, the Jets against the Chiefs. Any questions?
No.
I do. If he ain't hurt, I'll try it. I will look crazy. I will look crazy.
Yeah.
I will look crazy. I would try Breece Hall against the Chiefs. I know. He had 2 long runs in Week 1, but it's been rough going.
Yeah, now that you say that, yes, that would be, being a New York fan, I would start if I didn't have any.
They said the same thing last week. He had that great play in Week 1. It's been rough ever since. He just touched the ball 4 times, so I get it. I got a feeling he's
going to of the year, Ted says. We'll see. Ted picked the Jets. I think he's the only one amongst us that picked the Jets there. Let me double check that.
He might be. Jets defense is great, but they always got to put some points on the board, because Kansas City going to get some points.
Yeah.
Interceptions and all. They're going to get them some damn points. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I got you, Ted. I'm kind of with you. If the Jets pull this off, oh my God.
It'll be, what'd you say it was earlier? The upset of the
this will be the upset of the year. This will be a major upset. That's what I probably said. If the Jets win the day, this will be a major upset.
Major upset.
Major. Gus Edwards of the Ravens at the Browns. They say sit him, really? Okay, the Ravens backfield is banged up. Justice Hill sat out Week 3. Edwards exited the game early. That left Melvin Gordon and Kenyon Drake at the healthy backs for the Ravens, regardless of who gets to start. It's a good week to stay away from Baltimore backs. Really? The Browns have yielded the second fewest yards to backs so far this season. They have yet to allow a rushing touchdown and are giving up just 3.4 yards per carry. So they're not going to put up a lot of numbers, is what they're saying. as
No.
far as fantasy.
No.
And here go Ted. Aaron Rodgers and Taylor Swift will be at MetLife tonight. What? What?
Just going back to the Jet game, Ted is. I got to mix it. Ted is. He's a true New Yorker. He's down there on the island. He's going for the Jets. The rest of us were going for Kansas City. So if
I'm
this
just
is
a realist. I'm a realist on this game. I don't see the Jets beating Kansas City.
no, but like I said, if this I would love to see it happen because Ted, he'll be talking about it for all next week.
Yes, he will. I don't see them beating Kansas City. I do not.
Yeah. No.
I cannot lie. I do not see them beating Kansas City. This. Aaron Rodgers ain't starting. Zach Wilson ain't doing good. Mike White has yet to get in there for real and get comfortable. I don't see him doing it by himself potentially. And their quarterback after that should be Randall Cobb if all three of them go down. No.
Yeah.
And Kansas City has everybody back. No, that's just being real. That's just being real.
Yeah. It's
A.J. Dillon of the Packers against the Lions. They recommend sitting him. I would not have. However, Dillon was a sit last week and just put up 3.3 fantasy points. He has scored 10.6 fantasy points. Combined in the last two games without Aaron Jones, just failing to get the job done. It's another week to stay away from him. Whether or not Jones suits up on Thursday night, which was the Thursday night game, so he would have been out there by himself, which means he would have been a premier target, so he wouldn't have put up a whole lot of numbers. The Lions have allowed the fifth fewest rushing yards to running backs so far this season. Running backs are averaging just 50.7 rushing yards per game against them. Dillon struggled in better matchups than this. Get him out of your lineup. I hate to agree with them. Based on what they got, I see it, but I probably would have started him.
On the CBS side, just talking about the Detroit Lions, I'm looking at the CBS side. The Detroit Lions, CBS had the Packers 24-20, but the final score was 34-20, and so the Detroit Lions are for real this year.
They're for real during the regular season. Last season was great for them. This season, I see them trying to get through the playoffs. We're not going to say Super Bowl, but I want to see them win at least a playoff.
I think they have good potential going to playoffs there and stuff.
They win a playoff game, their job will be done. Just one. One.
CBS told us as this was a big early season divisional game between two teams that are 2-1, and both are coming off a victory of last week. The Packers are banged up. That might have been the reason why they lost, but should have some guys back up, rallying from behind. Beating the Saints last week. The Lions there will be getting Jordan Love going. Or no, the Green Bay beat the Saints. Which I thought that the Saints should have won that game.
Right.
So he got Packers win, a tight one, but it ended up going the other way around. So it's just as far as that goes. So. And I watched some of that game. There was some good defenses, but it was obvious that Detroit, they just ran away with it there at the end of the game.
That's all I got. Anything you want to add?
No, good show and stuff as far as that goes. Good activity here in the chat there from with Golf and Brian and Ted. So good broadcast.
Gotcha. Normally I would do the kickers. I'm going to skip the kickers because by now, if you have a decent defense, you want that kicker. For people who do not know and do not understand, honestly. We got a little bit before the game starts, which means I can go make me some breakfast. Rich, I appreciate you being here. Big ups to Ted. Thank you for coming through. Golf Hall, thank you for coming through. The Jares coming in there from Rich's Twitch. I appreciate you being here. Brian, appreciate you coming through. I don't want to miss anybody over there. Y'all get ready for the games. Go get your roster set. We will be here next week, same time. Same channel, all the channels, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. Thank you all for being here. Go enjoy the games. Maybe we'll do something tonight, and I'll talk to you all later. All right? Peace.